We had a question before, we allowed virtual meetings to be unlimited for the time being, but we also wanted the general public to know that, your constituent is virtual. It's not here in person. And the question was, hey, how does the general public know that? And apparently, if they're watching on YouTube, they can see it. But if they aren't, and they just want to look at the minutes, to find out afterward, Jess is going to have to mark who's virtual. So we have a record of that.
And we have been doing that in the past as well. So you'll see attendance at the very top of my minutes, and you'll see appearing virtually, and their names would be listed. And we are just waiting to get everybody connected right
Bill's
now.
gotta
So
get
just
on, I guess.
be patient while Lance runs around.
You got any public comment? No. Oh, thank God.
At his desk. Yep.
Bill, we're glad to have you here. That's gone.
Horse left the barn.
You're going to have to call me out in that when I say it. You haven't signed.
Jess, did the coaches leave?
Yeah, we're on our own.
Jess, are the coaches gone, so it's up to us now? Okay.
Are they in the background or not? Oh. Oh. Yeah, please be patient here, for tonight. The meeting's not yet started. Does it start after I say call to order? Is that when you'll do it?
Yes, right now we're just getting everybody connected, so we're running a few minutes behind. I'm looking for Bob Rogers and Bill Schradel's right in process.
Have you signed in, Bob?
At least I know how
I
to.
told them all about this stuff.
And we won't hear from you for the rest of the night.
The group here,
Probably.
no consent agendas, all that kind of stuff.
No, that would work for Randy.
I mean, he has good subjects, but let us get through it for a month or two before. We are going to use this.
No.
Yours is on, your mic is on.
On the meeting.
Yeah, I always leave it on.
Very good.
Yeah. I might want to
Well,
talk.
I won't talk very long.
Move it back so I don't. I can't see anything.
Lance.
Bill is number 7. Who's behind Chris? What? Behind Chris. But I can't see. Okay, all right. Okay. I'm going to call the Barron County Board of Supervisors for Monday, January 23rd, 2023 into order. And with roll call, we don't really do that anymore. We just hit our buttons to say you're present. And then you tell us what's going on, Jess? Is that how it works? Punky, I don't think you're in yet.
I'm in. Just
All right.
now.
Pete?
I got it. 2 things.
Yeah. So Bill's in, all right? So everybody's in except Pam Fall, and she won't be here, so.
That's on the screen, though, not on the roll call.
So now I'm going to share my screen, and you're going to see the tally, just showing everybody who's in attendance. All right. All right, Louis, you can go to the next item.
Okay, public notification, is that you, Jeff?
Wendy Coleman, my executive assistant, has complied with Wisconsin open meeting requirements. Meeting agendas have been posted on the electronic meeting notice boards located on the first and second floor of the Government Center and on the first floor of the Justice Center. A hard copy of the meeting agenda has been posted in the county clerk's office, and she has verified the proper posting of the meeting. This is the Barron County Board of Supervisors scheduled for January 23rd, 2023, with an amended agenda, which was posted on the 19th at 9:32 a.m.
Okay, item number 2, the invocation will be by Pastor Cody Vargas from Rice Lake, who we're very familiar with.
Again, we thank you that you allow this time of prayer and also the pledge allegiance to the flag. If you would join me in prayer. Father God, we come before you. It's a new year, but Lord, we know that you have entrusted many people to be stewards of this county, and we don't take that lightly. So I pray that this year we would see that this mantle that you've given us has been given us to care for those around us in our towns, villages, in this county. May we steward not with leadership mentality, but with servanthood hearts, caring for those around us. And I pray that the decisions made here would be made with wisdom and at times divine wisdom. And we thank you for this great county, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor. Item number 3, special matters and announcements.
Vonnie, when we recognized Vonnie in December, we didn't have a plaque, and I know the board members asked, we didn't get it delivered, so it's on my desk and she will get it this week. So was asked by some board members, we'll follow through appropriately.
Okay. Item number 4, approve the agenda. Okay. Whoever makes it. Okay, motion by Supervisor Olson, seconded by Supervisor Anderson. Does anybody have to speak on this when they're making a motion? No, okay, okay. Does anybody have any concerns with the agenda? Seeing none, if all, then please vote on your screen.
Well, the only one who'll know is Jess, correct?
I can tell. Pete and Patty?
Patty, did you vote?
Yes, Jeff, it tells me.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you. Thanks, Jess.
okay, we got, let's see, 27 yes and 1 absent, so somebody didn't vote? Oh, that's right, Stacy's not seated. Well, that's twice today. You guys are gonna kill me. Okay, so the agenda is approved. Item number 5, appointment and oath of office for Stacy Newman, District 4 Supervisor. Motion by Supervisor Thompson, seconded by Supervisor Moen. Are there any concerns or questions? Okay, if not, all those in, yeah, all of you look at your screen and vote.
Kathy, we're waiting on your vote.
Okay, that passed by a majority vote. 26 yes, 1 abstain, and 1 absent. Okay. Yeah, up right here. Okay, that motion carried. So Stacy, would you like to come up and we'll give you the oath of office by our county clerk, Jess Hodak?
Good. that online?
No, you gotta do it right up here.
You might lose.
All right. I'll just have you agree, because I know that you have this right in front of you. So, I, Stacy Newman, being appointed to the County Board Supervisor in District Number 4, in and for the said County of Barron, in said state, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of County Board Supervisor to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I agree.
Okay, perfect.
Welcome, Stacy. Okay, item number 6, approve the minutes of the December 5th, 2022 meeting.
I just have to add Stacy in now since she's been appointed.
And maybe next time we'll have everybody's beautiful picture on the screen. Oh, am I the only one that has that?
No, Fran did it. Supervisor Langman did.
No. Did you get, well, they get the picture, so I don't want to bug her. Okay, motion by Supervisor Bob Anderson and second by Supervisor Cook. Is there any concerns with the minutes of December 5th? If not, all of you please go to your screen and vote. Okay.
He discovered that
I see it.
line.
Okay, that passed by majority vote, 27 yes, 1 absent, and 1 abstain. Okay, on to the next item, item number 7, public comment. We do have one, Pastor Cody Vargas. Carcass? Oh, it's Carcass, okay. I always been saying it wrong. Sorry, Pastor. You have the floor.
Cody Cargus, I'm the police chaplain for Rice Lake, and their address is 34 Wilson Ave. If you could hold your applause until I'm done. January 9th was Law Enforcement Appreciation Day across this nation, and we are very grateful that our county has a great law enforcement presence in all the cities and our sheriff's department. That day, we were able to gather cards from all the elementary schools and even some of the private schools, the St. Joe's and Lutheran schools, where they then dispersed them to all the different cities where there were police departments and the sheriff's department. We hung them up, and all the officers got different notes. And it was great to see even like kids at Turtle Lake had a big banner for their department. Law Enforcement Appreciation Day is a very important day where we get to honor those who serve us. Tonight, when you're sleeping, hopefully at 3 o'clock in the morning, there'll be people who won't be sleeping to take care of us. And we are very grateful that we live in a county that's very pro-law enforcement. There's a small majority, maybe 5%. Most of those are in jail right now. They're not happy about law enforcement. But we are grateful to have men and women who serve us. So I want to remind you that every month, if you can, thank those who serve us, those who wear that badge, who care for us during the daytime and the nighttime. More and more we're seeing that they're dealing with stuff that sometimes seems to stress them out with mental health now seems to be a primary thing that just they're involved with more. And that's a lot of stress on them. But gratefully, they care for them in many ways. So if we could take a moment, and we only have one law enforcement here right now, so that's our sheriff. So Sheriff, if you could stand, and let's just thank our law enforcement that care for us every day.
Thank you, Pastor, and thank you, Chris. Item number 8, progress update on the highway facilities. Now, Mark Servey, our highway commissioner, is actually an integral part of the Wisconsin County Highway Association, which has their conference going on right now. So he's down there with instructions. And is anybody from CBS Squared here? All right. Well, I guess they have been attending our Highway Progress Committee meetings virtually, and they have been attending the Highway Finance Committee meetings virtually. So, I guess our closed session will deal with a lot of the things that are currently going on there. As far as the progress of the facilities, I know they've kind of used getting it on pretty well. So I know there's some supply chain issues in that. So I believe that's about all we're going to get at this point in time. Pete, anything you want to say? Okay. All right. Item number 9, the financial update on the highway facilities. Oh, Randy, sorry.
I think, Jody, you're going to cover where we stand in terms of the budget progress, in terms of the bond and what we approved, the 4.6, what's left of each? Okay, thank you.
And there will be more after that later. Hey, Jody?
Okay. All right, in your packet, we do have financials dated January 16th. This is, the last financials you would have saw was November 30th. So this is just piggybacking on that. Since that time, expenditures, we have expended another $1,217,000 for the various contracts, some direct payments, management fees, and then as far as financing sources, the revenues that have came in on the bond, as of the end of December, we made $3,558. And so as of January 16th, we have about $639,000 left available. We have not tapped into the 4.6 million. So right now, I would say we probably will get to that point, probably maybe the end of February or by mid-March. Things will look a little bit different. The bond will be completely expended. Is there any questions?
In terms, Jody, to the 4.6, we expect to get to that soon, at some point in time. Looking forward, is 4.6 going to be enough?
We will be discussing that in closed session.
Any other questions?
Nope, thank you. Okay, item number 10. Now, what's the show up? The resolution, the resolution authorizing the $390,000 no interest loan from the general fund, unassigned fund balance to the waste to energy fund for additional fixed assets and other pertinent costs for the new acid gas removal system. What do you see up on your screens out there?
That,
You see the actual.
yeah.
Okay, what I read, okay. Now, Randy, or Supervisor Cook pointed out earlier that Supervisor Gores made the motion and Supervisor Olson seconded that. According to Robert's Rules of Order, the person that made the motion is supposed to speak first. So, since it's listed on here, I think what we should do maybe going forward is have that person that makes the motion, in this case Supervisor Gores, say, I make a motion to approve that resolution. That way you're speaking first. Does that cover it? Okay.
I make that motion to approve the $390,000 for the low interest or no interest loan from the general fund to the incinerator,
Okay.
solid waste management.
Okay, there's a second by Pete, and Supervisor Olson would like to speak?
I think we're maybe being a little bit redundant asking him to state the motion. If he's in favor of it and doesn't want to speak, he shouldn't need to. And if he does want to speak, he can request to speak, and then you can call on him first.
Well, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I would look at it.
Right,
Go
I was, where I was coming from is if someone is going to speak against the motion, let's say you had someone to speak, typically you would have the person in favor of the motion speak first.
Okay,
That's all I'm saying.
okay. So
Right,
I'm
but-
not a guru on Robert's Rules.
Well, no, and what I'm saying is if Jim wants to speak to
Right.
it, he'll ask to speak, and then he'll know he made the motion, he should speak first.
Okay. All right, now this does require a 2/3 vote when we get, yeah, I know, when we get down to it, so. Supervisor Hanson?
At the meeting with the solid waste people, we talked about this, and we're trying to prevent the problems that are ending up with the highway building. And this would be the contingency to get the acid gas removal system finished. And we're trying to plan ahead, so that's what this is for.
Including that 160,000 for the performance bond, which is a
Right.
big part of that. And I know I was at that meeting, and initially they had talked about 300,000, but if some of you will remember, at one time, the Waste Energy was forced to use all their cash, and it severely crippled that plant. And what I think they're trying to avoid here is to cover the costs that are there. And the waste energy plant is going to pay the money back, no interest. But it won't cripple them, and in case something comes up that we haven't foreseen yet. Supervisor Vaughn.
So if I'm reading it right, their expense is expected to be around 272,000, and
Actually, that's what it says in the resolution, but if you look at, it was in the packet, it actually had $409,000 of expenses. There was the hard cost that Jeff had detailed in the resolution being at 272.5. So I don't know if the resolution needs to, yeah.
the board recommended, or the Waste Energy Board recommended increasing it from 300,000 to 390,000?
Correct, because there's 409,000 of expenses that they anticipate.
Can you tell me where that is? I'm looking at the next page. I think it says 290,000 at the bottom of that page.
It does. But that 209, actually could go 2 numbers up above that. See where it has the subtotal 4,409,000 and then the borrowed 4 million.
Okay.
So that's where the 409 came up, and Brent said, I think 390 will cover all the expenses. Does that answer your question?
I guess I'm still seeing that 290 there, which looks to me like that's what we're under, what we're
Um,
expected to still need.
Let's see, what, I figured that out, what the heck, that number does come under,
The parentheses indicates that it's over Supervisor Vaughn. The 272,500 were hard numbers that Brent and I discussed. We asked for 300 because we had some electrical. It was the 272, between the 272,500 and the 300,000. When the solid waste board discussed it, Brent, there was a discussion on some other cash flow items, some minuscule ones, some de minimis ones, and Supervisor Gores asked, this committee discussed, why not go to 390? So he's got a little bit, because the electrical that's going into this, it's kind of in flux what it's going to cost. So that's where the difference comes in between the 272,500 is what I was given originally. So I put that in the resolution so the board members know there was a fixed number that we began with, the 390 as a result of the action of the committee.
So you don't have to come back again.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
The board, they even discussed doing $500,000, and then it was brought back to 390.
Supervisor Taxtall? You gotta unmute yourself, Gary. Still can't hear you, Gary. Oh, there we are. Okay.
Yeah, my question is why is this a no interest loan? Because the waste management is a enterprise fund, and the initial loan from the state trust fund had interest on it. Why aren't they paying this back over 10 years at the same interest rate as the state trust fund loan? I mean, it is an enterprise fund, and I just think money costs money. So that's my feeling, and I'd like to see this motion amended that they pay it back with the same rate as the state trust fund loan, because if they would have borrowed the whole thing from the state trust fund loan, they'd be paying that interest, and why not pay it to us?
We typically don't charge, it's highly unusual from an accounting perspective that you charge inter-funds interest. The board can certainly do that, but through the history of the county with the Lime Fund, Health and Human Services Fund, Highway Fund, back when we loaned money to the Highway Fund for them to purchase gravel pits, we've never charged interest. You can, that's a choice of the board, but the board's never done that.
And, we're paying interest to the other place, the state, but we aren't paying interest between ourselves is why they did it. But
Yeah, I understand that, but
Okay.
it's an enterprise fund.
So is that a motion, you're amending that motion? Or you're making an amendment that we tack on interest?
Well, I hate to hear that. We've never done it that way before. So I would amend that motion that the 390,000 loan would be at the same interest rate as the state trust fund loan paying back to the county general fund.
Okay, is there a second to that? Well, so far, we don't have a second.
Okay,
Okay.
I give up.
You do? Are you withdrawing that?
I give up.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. We got a hybrid today, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. So Gary, you're back on. You got a second?
Can I speak? We might as well talk about it. We didn't charge the 4.6 million in that resolution, did it? No.
72,000.
Aren't we voting?
Supervisor efforts.
That's the side right here,
The
the side right
the
here,
interest would be charged at the current
here.
state trust fund rate.
that green. Guys, yeah, okay.
Okay. So we just changed it.
You can go to the pointer. Here. And it's
I've been asked a question, the interest rate is 5.25% fixed.
what we're doing. Mhm. That Smarty tells us down here. I thought it was the,
Yeah, that's correct.
but it isn't, it's that arrow where you.
Okay, now is this an amendment, isn't it?
So you have to vote on the amendment. Yes, we charge them interest? No, we don't.
What are we doing now?
Yes.
Waiting for the yes or no?
You want to speak, Randy, for? It's two, majority for the amendment.
Gary, can I have you take a look at the amendment and see if that looks okay?
I lost you, Randy. Boy.
You should see it on your screen as a motion to amend.
Not on ours.
Yeah.
Still has the no interest.
In the beginning, it says motion to charge interest to 5.25.
Now it's coming on mine. On there.
Yeah, I would say that would be, add that it's equivalent to the present or the current state trust fund loan interest rate, and that would be over the same 10-year period.
It is 5.25.
Right. Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
If you wanted to put the date on it, the year or whatever,
Okay,
I
so
guess the
hold
date
on.
and
Would you
year would be
leave
up- that
in
would
the
be on
actual
there, so.
resolution, would you leave the no interest since that's what he's taking out? The actual, Okay,
Yeah,
so
I-
take out
I'm
the
not
original
I'm not
brief
able
item
to see
summary
both
and
at
just
the
leave the
same
motion
time.
to charge interest to 5.25 equivalent to current state trust fund rate. Correct? Okay. Okay, so then we can, somebody wants to speak, so we'll do that first. Okay. Go ahead and call Louis. What?
Okay. Supervisor Cook?
Mr. Chairman, just as a point, we did not charge the highway department on the 4.6 million that the board approved, correct?
No. It's their fund balance,
it's-
actually.
It's out
We
of
are-
their fund balance?
This is coming
Correct.
out of the general fund balance, not the highway fund balance.
Again, I'm going to speak against, it. I just think if we haven't done it in the past, it's a dangerous precedent. We have to start looking forward to that again. I mean, I'm not in favor.
Okay. So, okay. Supervisor Thompson?
I kind of look at this as you borrowing your wife $20 and want her to pay interest back when she gives it back. There's some things you just don't go after, and that's one of them, I think.
Supervisor Gores?
Seems to me a little bit redundant in a way here, because, I mean, the solid waste management building or business is actually part of the counties and stuff. So what it amounts to is we're essentially charging ourselves interest. And we haven't done it in the past, and I guess I'm not for it now.
Okay. Supervisor Taxtell?
Yeah, I would like to just say that the waste management's the only enterprise fund in the county, and the highway department is not an enterprise fund. And we're paying an interest of 5.25% to another government entity, and which is the state. So there's absolutely no reason not for us to collect interest on this loan, because I've seen too many cost overruns on these projects, and I'm getting kind of tired of it. And we keep coming back asking for more money. Well, start buying, paying for this extra money you want from the general fund. That's the reason I think that we need to start changing something and not have this, we've always done it that way. Because if you're going to go over costs, then start paying for it, paying for the money. We aren't just going to give it to you.
Okay. Supervisor Olson?
I'm looking for clarification. The state trust fund, that's variable rate, isn't it? No, it's fixed? Okay.
No.
Supervisor Cook? Okay. all right. Anybody else want to speak? Okay, what we're going to do is the first thing we're doing a motion. I'll grab you, Bill, on the.
Randy
Yep.
wants to. He's done.
No, Bill does, but we're going to be doing a motion, voting on the amendment to the motion, which was actually will be in essence charging 5.25% on the $390,000. And then you'll vote on that, and I guess then after that, if that's approved, that's the end of it, isn't it? If it's.
Then you got to vote on the main motion.
Right, yep. Okay, Supervisor Schradel.
Solid Waste Management Board, Brent explained that he could probably cover most of that, but we don't want to be running out of money, and we don't want to go ahead and have the problems the Highway Committee is having, where we didn't have enough contingency, or, I don't know all the problems, but all I know that we're way over budget there. And we're trying to prevent that. We don't want to use up all that extra money, because that's a 24/7 operation out there. And if something breaks down, you can't go to the shelf or go to Menards and get a replacement. It's pretty well all custom-made parts, and they're very expensive. So I do not think this is basically something we're trying to prevent here. Preventive instead of preventive maintenance, preventive, cost overrun. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? If not, then, Supervisor Gores, did you want to say something again?
Yeah, essentially what it amounted to is we made that motion actually to go up to 390,000. It doesn't necessarily mean that we were going to actually use the whole 390,000.
Supervisor Taxdahl?
Yes, again, we've been pouring money into that waste management for many years. Once for operations, now it's all for assets. And I guess if we have to start putting money back in for operations, that would be interest-free. So I'm just saying, charge interest, and the interest on that money over 10 years is not going to break the waste management. And I just think it should be done.
Bill, did you already speak? I think you did, okay. Okay. All right, anybody else? If not, we'll, the motion is that we borrow $390,000 from the,
No, we got the amendment.
or the yeah, I know it's the amendment, but with the interest. Oh, I guess, okay. The amendment is that we charge 5.25% on the $390,000 that's being transferred from the general fund to the waste to energy fund. Okay, all right. Vote on your screen. Okay, it failed on the majority vote. There were 3 yes, 25 no, and 1 absent. So now we're on to the main motion that was made to authorize the $390,000 no-interest loan from the general fund, unassigned fund balance to the waste to energy fund for additional fixed assets and other pertinent costs for the new acid gas removal system. Are we ready to vote? Yes?
Yep.
Okay, that passed with a 2/3 of the full membership, 28 yes and 1 absent. Thank you, everybody. Now we're on the next one, yep. Item number 11, resolution authorizing an additional $72,000 of the American Rescue Plan Act ARPA funds for the high-speed internet fiber to the Barron County Sheriff's Department communication towers. Again, this will be a 2/3 one, and even though the resolution says something different right now. Okay, a motion by Supervisor Hanson, seconded by Supervisor Rogers. Does anybody have any or care to speak? Supervisor Vaughn.
Did we have a contract with them? It said they could not honor the $300 a month. Do we have a contract or just a?
What we had is we had a contract that they were reviewing and we were reviewing, and upon their final review, they said they would not honor the 300 a
Their
month.
board, yeah. Supervisor Taxdahl.
Yes, going from 300 to 400, the 300 is 72,000 and 400 would be 96,000, correct?
Jeff did the numbers along with the sheriff, and I know there was a lot of negotiation with it.
But I mean, if you went up $100,000.
No,
or,
it's-
if you went up $100 a month.
That's
it's
$300 a month.
24,000.
That's $300 a month times 240 months, which is 20 years, which is 72,000.
Yeah, but I thought you said you went to $400 a month.
We went from 300 a month to 400 a month, which is $100.
additional 100.
An additional 100 a month for 3 towers for 240 months is 72,000.
Oh, I see. I was thinking one tower. I got you.
Okay. Any further requests to speak? Not? It's all vote. Somebody's got to do it. Well, Bob made it. Bob and Bud made it, see. Wait. I don't know what they're waiting for. Okay, that passed with 2/3 of the full membership, 27 yes, 1 no, and 1 absent. So thank you, everybody.
This one reads simple.
Okay, are you sure?
Yep, because we've already approved the money, you're just moving it.
I think the resolution has 2/3 on it though, but it's a simple, you're saying, okay. Okay, item number 12, resolution authorizing the transfer of $6,723 of American Rescue Plan Act ARPA funds to improvements to the Barron County Economic Development's website and tourism website. Motion by Supervisor Heller, seconded by Supervisor Bob Anderson. Any questions or concerns, or anybody want to speak? If not, let's go for a vote. Passed by a majority vote, 27 yes, 1 no, and 1 absent. Thank you, everybody. Item number 13, resolution authorizing the 401 subpare A sales request retirement plan with a Nationwide Retirement Solutions. Motion by Supervisor Cook, seconded by Supervisor Olson. Supervisor Taxtell.
Yeah, I know I'm taking up a lot of your time, but how many, what's the most people this could affect? Because this is $100 per person on another retirement plan. And our retirement plan with the state is pretty lucrative, and we're already sticking half of the retirement in for that from the county. And now we're asked to pay some more for another retirement plan. And the end of the resolution was the cost was unknown. So what is the maximum cost this could be to the county for matching the $100 match?
Off the top of my head, when we did the budget, Gary, I think we came up with 44,400 would be the maximum. This was discussed. I fully support this. You've got to do something to separate rank and file from your management confidential. There's only about 26 or 28 people I think this affects. It's a small thing. The only difference between management confidential and rank and file is you get a little bit more, 8 or 16 hours more of vacation and this. So there's a very little. Yeah, the state trust fund might be lucrative, but read the last paragraph of the last sentence of the last codicle of the Wisconsin retirement system. What does it say? This plan shall always be under the control of the state legislature. It's never yours. That's a huge, huge difference.
Anybody else? Not, let's go for a vote. Passed by a majority vote with 27 yes, 1 no, and 1 absent. Thank you. Item number 14, resolution in support of increased child support funding. Motion by Supervisor Rogers, seconded by Supervisor Hanson. Anybody care to speak on this? Supervisor Patty Anderson.
I just have one question. If this resolution passes, which it should, how do we get it to Madison, and how do we make sure that they know that the counties are serious? Do we take it there on County Association Day, or?
The WCA lobbyists will be on this.
They were doing that?
Yeah,
And can anyone go so we can put our 2 cents worth into?
Not at this point in time, no.
Thank you.
Supervisor Krug.
Yes, could you just explain that a little bit, what this is all about? Increased child support funding? How much are we paying now?
Do you feel comfortable, Supervisor? Oh, John, okay, all right.
So what this is that it's a effort put forward by the Wisconsin Child Support Enforcement Association. They're seeking to ask the legislature to increase the GPR funding for the child support program. And all the money that comes to the child support program, vast majority is either through federal dollars or through state dollars. There's a portion of it that is locally in our tax levy that comes from Barron County into our individual county programs. What this is doing is asking the legislature to increase the GPR funding by $5 million each of 2 years of the budget. That also allows the state of Wisconsin to draw down 66%, so $2 for every dollar in federal reimbursement, so about $9.7 million per year of the budget. That money would go to the Bureau of Child Support in Madison. A portion of it would be used to fund the statewide program, and then they have a formula where it would be allocated to each of the county child support programs based on your caseload. So it's a mechanism for increasing the funding for local agencies to help provide for the service that each of the local counties provide.
Do we, excuse me, do we know how much money is in there right now? Do we have an excess amount of money? Yeah.
During the Health and Human Services Board meeting today, our finance department did a projection, showed that locally we're right on track for our budget projected that we'll finish 2022. We don't have the numbers yet, with about $5,000 unspent. The problem is that the GPR funding, it was changed a few years back, but it stays pretty much stagnant. It doesn't go up unless there is something like this to ask the state for more money. So then the amount of federal dollars is also stagnant. And so going forward, any of the costs that are increased, whether it be increase in wages or health insurance or any other types of costs, will have to be covered by the local tax levy. And so this is a way that the child support agencies across the state were asking the cost of the program to be funded through the state and federal dollars. Each county gets a certain base allocation, but then you also get an allocation based upon your caseload and then your performance numbers. And so if you're not performing up to the required expectations, that impacts on whether you get your full allocation or not. And so what a lot of counties are seeing is that because they are forced to make changes or cuts in their program, they're not able to keep up with the performance requirements, and so that has a continuing self-imposed declining performance. So this was done a number of years back. I can't tell you exactly when. The legislature didn't approve it the first round, and so the next year they came back and asked for it again. The legislature did increase the funding, but not to the full amount asked. So whether this gets approved or not, it may not be approved at the $5 million per budget year. And I can't tell you tonight how many counties have approved this same resolution. I think we're at about 55 right now, but the goal was to have all the child support agencies across the state make that same request and submit that to the governor, and then it goes through the WCA, I believe, is supporting as well. But in any case, that's what the request is for.
Thank you.
Supervisor Vaughn?
So I really appreciated the explanation of what child support did this morning at the Health and Human Services Board. I voted no at that time based on the fact that we are running okay in our county with a small surplus of about $5,000 this year. Mostly because we're asking for 10 million right now that we don't personally need, and it would spread that tax burden across all of Wisconsin with the money going back in greater proportion to the bigger cities. So we would be paying more ourselves to go to other places. Those are just my thoughts.
Supervisor Patty Anderson?
Yes, I was also at the Health and Human Services Board this morning, and I think we need to, its enhancement program is also, so they're going after the fathers that need to pay child support. So, and that was one of the things, and also locating the parent and making them pay was a part of this program. Also, transportation, and I believe that is if a child is out of the area, they bring the child back. Is that the right?
No, the transportation costs were for if we have a absent parent that is not paying child support and they're located in another state and we have a felony warrant,
Okay, that
The
was,
sheriff's department arranges for them to be transferred back here for prosecution.
okay.
And so
that
there
was-
are costs related to the transportation of that person.
Okay, and they do, establishing parent, oh, that was to find the father. Okay, job fairs and assisting, the payee and the payer, to be responsible and, no, I thought the explanation today was very good and I think I voted yes and I'll vote yes again. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, please vote. It passed by a majority vote with 25 yes, 3 no, and 1 absent. Thank you. Item number 15, the American Rescue Plan ARPA expenditures. Jody had a sheet in our packet indicating any of the changes. Does anybody have any questions for Jody? Not, this is just for information. Okay, item number 16, report from our county administrator.
Good evening. So I appreciate Gary Supervisor Taxstall. So I have put on right in my office, I'm going to make 2023 the year of education. And every time we talk about something, I'm going to try to educate the board. And it's very interesting, just so you know that if you're age 26 or under, they have no trust of pension plans. So when we attract people, they don't care about the Wisconsin pension plan. Very good analysis on TV, or actually it's a YouTube video. I don't remember who did it, but I know the Heritage Foundation, or it was the William Penn Foundation, or the Pennsylvania Foundation did a study. And when people are attracting younger people, they want to manage their own retirement, and they don't look at pension plans because they saw pension plans disappear for their parents and grandparents, pay into them for years, 40 years, and then come to retire and have nothing. So it's an interesting dynamic. I just want to share that with you. Video streaming of committee meeting minutes will be brought to the executive and then back here as a future agenda item next month. The virtual meeting attendance and training video, I've sent that out to everybody. I hope you've watched it. If not, let me know. I'll relink it out to you. Last Tuesday night, I attended a video conference, and believe it or not, somebody undressed in front of everybody. 19 or 26 people in the meeting. Yes, he did. Soil and water presentation is in your packet. Let's see, I ate a lot less that evening. Soil and water presentations in your budget. I thought Tyler did a great job. We started with some health and human services statistics that was asked by that committee. We'll show you that snowplow video. I put the policy form, how tax burden is going down. Anybody get thanked for the 6% reduction in the property tax levy by the county? Nope. Welcome to government. 22 per diem reports in there for your edification. Interestingly enough, I always try to compare county government to our neighbors to the south in Illinois and Minnesota, and we run our county government substantially less than any county of the similar size in Illinois or Wisconsin, and I just do that so I can get a jab at my oldest boy who lives in Illinois. So with that, we'll look at the snowplow video, and Mark Servey wants everybody to know that the scream that you hear is not Nate Nelson. So can you get that queued up for us? This is what our plow guys face out on the road. It. So that's just north of the Shteck exit. Nate is plowing in the passenger's lane, forcing the snow to the left-hand side, and you can see what happened. And for you that have not been on the board, but, or have been on the board for a while, you do remember that we actually been rear-ended at least twice with our lights on, and one time rear-ended and sued. So, interesting dynamic when we plow roads. With that, as far as my appointment, any questions? The appointments are there. The only change would be that in item 17E, Supervisor Olson has withdrawn, and I've talked to Supervisor Turcott, and he is willing to stand in for Supervisor Olson or the Strategic Planning Work Group. So we have to vote on them individually,
Yeah,
just because of the new software.
right. Okay, appointment 17A, Health and Human Services Board, appoint Barb Reisner to replace Randy Albrecht, remainder of the term for 2024. Motion by Supervisor Thompson, seconded by Supervisor Olson. Any concerns? If not, please vote. Passed by a majority vote, 28 yes, 1 absent. 17B, Health and Human Services Board, reappoint Carolyn Bartlett to a 3-year term. Motion by Supervisor Heller, seconded by Supervisor Bob Anderson. Any concerns? Not, please vote. Passed by a majority vote, 27 yes, 1 abstain, 1 absent. Item 17C, Health and Human Services Board, reappoint Diane Vaughn for a 3-year term. Motion by Supervisor Efforts, seconded by Supervisor Hanson. Any concerns? Not, please vote. Passed by a majority vote, 26 yes, 1 no, 1 abstain, 1 absent. Item 17D, the ITPAC Tourism Committee, appoint Brandy Nelson to replace Fran Langman, and Jeff had a good explanation in the memo for that. Motion by Supervisor Heller, seconded by Supervisor Patty Anderson. Any concerns? Okay, if not, please vote. Passed by a majority vote, 27 yes, 1 abstain, 1 absent. Item 17E, Strategic Planning Work Group. Appoint Patty Anderson, Randy Cook, Louis Oki, Carolyn Bartlett, John Banks, Craig Turcott instead of Pete Olson, and Jerry McRoberts. Motion by Supervisor Efforts, second by Supervisor Gores. Any concerns there? If not, please vote. Passed by a majority vote, 27 yes, 1 abstain, 1 absent. Item 17F, appoint Stacy Newman to the Community Development Block Grant CDBG Committee, Regional Business Fund, and the Barron County Economic Development Board, same ones that Terry Lee had. Motion by Supervisor Langman, seconded by Supervisor Heller. Any concerns? Not, please vote.
You have to put your name up here.
Punky, we're waiting on you.
Oh, I did.
Passed by a majority vote, yes, 26, 1 no, 1 abstain, 1 absent. Thank you. Let's see, we're on to Lance, aren't we? 17G, Information Technology IT Director, appoint Lance Peterson to replace Mark Konecki, who is retiring. Motion by Supervisor Hanson, seconded by Supervisor Bob Anderson. Any questions or concerns? Not, please vote. Did I hit this? Yeah, passed by a majority vote, 28 yes, 1 absent. Item number 18, claims, petitions, and correspondence. Congratulations, Lance.
You're in now, Lance. It's too late.
18, claims, petitions, and correspondence.
I have none.
We don't have any. Number 19, suggestions for future agenda items.
Virtual meeting attendance and updating the rules and procedures.
Okay.
And then I talked to Supervisor Moan. Supervisor Moan had asked about the Next Gen 911 grant, which is referred to executive, which Sheriff Fitzgerald addressed them. We did receive that grant. We didn't budget for that, which is not unusual. We didn't know if we were going to get it. That'll be a future agenda item. If we spend 14,000, we draw down call it 14,000, we draw down 60 to have our update to Next Gen, so that'll be on the agenda for next month. That's what we have on that.
Okay. Item number 20, we're going to ask for a closed session. And I just want to state that we as a board have been trying to be really transparent with what's going on as it relates to the highway overage. But in order to confer with our legal counsel regarding CBS squared and a highway overage, we need this session. So, and this closed session was recommended by our Highway Finance Committee. Somebody like to read that or make that motion?
I will. Get my glasses on.
I guess, do we do this on electronically too? Up here? Okay. Okay.
Need to read it? Okay.
It looks like Carolyn jumped in front of you.
That's fine.
Yeah. There's a motion by Supervisor Bartlett and seconded by Supervisor Patty Anderson. Yes, please.
Deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. And Section 19.851G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved based upon the above description. And included will be the full county board, I'm assuming John.
So Corp Counsel, John Minch, and Jess is going to stay because of the. Oh. Okay, so.
Yeah, I just want John, myself, Jody, and the county board to let Lance, just because we have some IT things, and Lance would like to, it would be a lot simpler for us if Lance just stays in than running in and out all the time.
And we'll have Councilman Andy Phillips and Matt Thomes also be included. So we vote now, Jess? Okay, Gary, or Supervisor Taxtall?
Yeah, I think you need to add in there that all remote board members would be excluded from closed session.
Yeah, it's in the rules and procedure. We'll note it though. Thanks, Gary.
Okay.
So just note that all virtual members are not included in a closed session.
All right, and before I go, I want to congratulate everyone for the great job everyone did on the new electronic voting and Louis, how well he ran the meeting.
Okay.
So,
Hold on, Gary, don't leave.
okay.
Okay, that rule that we kind of approved has not been adopted by ordinance yet. So if you want to stay, you can. It's up to you. But maybe we better, if you don't mind, Gary, just because we didn't do it by ordinance, maybe we should just follow what everybody kind of wanted. Is that okay?
Oh, sure. In other words, yeah, you don't want any remote
Right.
remote supervisors in the closed session, right?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
You can let me know what happened.
All right. Thanks, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we'll vote.
Kathy, we're waiting on you.
Okay, it's passed by a majority, 27 yes.